Maybe Diane, let's start with you. If you can give a really broad overview of what a guardianship means and what a conservatorship means.
Sure. And what people also need to be aware of is that these terms are used differently from state to state. So we're talking guardianship and conservatorship in Georgia. In other states, for example, California, a guardianship refers to somebody who's under a protective proceeding, who's under the age of 18, and conservatorship refers to 18 and above. Some states you hear guardianship of the person and the guardianship of the property. So it varies from state to state. So that's really important to keep in mind that we're talking about Georgia law, and not you need to be careful where you are that you're using the right terminology with your attorneys and with the courts. But guardianship and conservatorships are protective proceedings, and I'm going to make a quick contrast here with powers of attorney, which there's a lot of confusion between powers of attorney and guardianship, but I think by understanding one, it helps you understand the other. So for example, a power of attorney gives somebody, it's a contract, and it gives somebody the right to do something that you're able to do yourself. So if I have a power of attorney and my husband's my agent under the power of attorney, then he has the right to do whatever's permitted under the contract. That may be, for example, to make financial transactions on my bank account, right? So he's my agent, he's got the power of attorney, he can make transactions on my bank account, and I can make transactions on my bank account. And if he's using the money in the way that I think is improper, then I can fire him as my agent, right? Because it's a contract. I'm giving him the ability to do something I can do. By contrast, oh, and also his powers are limited within the term of the contract. So if I say you can only write checks on months that end in a Y, in August, September, October, November, he can't write checks on my account, okay? It can be very specific as to the terms of those contracts. By contrast, a guardianship and conservatorship, we are removing somebody's fundamental rights. We are going to court, and the court is making a determination. And again, the standard changes from state to state. But in Georgia, the standard is, does somebody have the capacity to make or communicate, that's important, significant responsible decisions with respect to their health and safety, that's guardianship, or with respect to the management of their financial affairs, that's conservatorship. And if somebody lacks that ability to make significant responsible decisions, it's not making bad decisions. We are all allowed to make bad decisions. But if we take information in, are unable to process that information and come out with an outcome, that's where that guardianship and conservatorship is appropriate. And they're often referred to as protective proceedings because that's what we're supposed to do. We're supposed to protect the person. So does that answer your question? I think it's a little longer than you wanted, but that's a broad overview of what a guardianship and conservatorship is. It's a court removing those fundamental rights because you can't exercise them anymore and giving them to somebody who was supposed to act on your behalf in exercising those rights.